filling out the unit circle, I always start with degrees. Okay, there's a lot of different ways you can do it. I always start with degrees. So that's 0. If I go all the way around, it's 360. Okay, if I went halfway around, it's 180. Half of that's 90. And then 270. Those are kind of the easiest ones to do. Okay, we talked about yesterday adding in the extra hash marks because there's a jump there and a jump there. If you do that now, you can, and it might help you out for degrees as well. Because if you do that, how much is each mark going to be on my graph? 15. So this would be 15. That makes this one 30, 45, 60, 75, 90, 105, 120, 135, 150, 165, 180, 195, 210, 225, 240. No, I screwed that up. Oops. See? That's what you get for adding. 195, 210, 225, 240, 265, or 55, 270, 285, 300, 315, 330, boom, 360. Doesn't matter how you do it. If you want to do it a different way than that, do it. Okay, but counting by 15s, if you're smarter than me, isn't too hard. Okay? Next thing I'm going to do is radians. Remember, you start off with 0 radians, and when you go all the way around, it's 2 pi. Okay, if you remember 2 pi, then the rest of it will be easier. That's a pi. That would make this a half a pi. That would make this 3 pi over 2. Okay, again, you could do what we did yesterday, and you could remember each one of these is going to count as a 12th, and then we're going to reduce the fraction. So that's 1/12. That would be 2/12, or 2 pi over 12. I'm sorry, 2 pi over 12 then reduces to pi over 6. And then this would be 3/12, which would be pi over 4. This would be 4/12, so that would be pi over 3. Okay, so there's that. And then if you remember the pattern yesterday, we talked about the bottoms were always going to be the same coming from that middle. So if this was 6, 4, 3, 2, that means this way is going to be 6, 4, 3, 2. That'll help us to reduce. And if that one's 6, 4, 3, that one goes 6, 4, 3. It just helps you reduce fractions faster. And this one's going to be 6, 4, 3. I'm just telling you some reminders to help you out. So this was 6/12. That was 7/12. This is 8/12. And the bottom's going to be a 3, so that looks like I'm reducing by 4. So 2 pi over 3. 9/12. 3 pi over 4. 10/12. 5 pi over 6. 11/12, which is 1. 13/12. 14/12. And the bottom's supposed to be 6, so it's 7 pi over 6. 15/12. That'd be 5 pi over 4. Okay. 16/12. 4 pi over 3. 17, 18, 19, 20 over 12. So 5 pi over 3. This would be 21/12. 7. 22/12. 11. Okay, there's that. Again, you can learn it a lot of different ways. That's the way I like doing it. If you want to do it a different way, feel free to do that. Again, I don't care about the fractions on the outside. I just want the ones in the middle. Questions on degrees or radians? Okay, the next easiest ones are to do the ordered pairs around the outside. I'm going just to the right and not up or down at all. Remember, it's a unit circle, so the radius would be 1. And then if I went to the top, I didn't go left or right, but I went up, so it's 1. This one I went to the left, so it's -1, 0. And this one would be 0, -1. Okay? Last thing is the ordered pairs. Remember, every other ordered pair left over here is going to be a bottom of 2. So I could go ahead and put 2's on all of them. 2. Okay? Then remember, you're using the numbers 3, 2, and 1 square rooted. So square root of 1, square root of 2, square root of 3. And the middle ones, always square root of 2. So I could write that in now. I could say square root of 2, square root of 2. The middle one's always 2. Okay, so that one's the easy one. Square root of 2 for all of those. Then you just got to remember which one's the 3 and which one's the 1. And the way I think about that is I'm going to think about a triangle. If I were to draw a triangle to this point right here, and some of my students yesterday were like, they came up with memorization tricks, but I just think if it was a triangle, this base of the triangle on my x-axis, is that bigger or is that smaller than the y? The x is bigger, so is the x going to be the 3 or is it going to be the 1? It's going to be the 3. So this is square root of 3. So 3, 2, 1. So that makes the other one 1, 2, 3. Same thing if I went over here. If I wanted to get to this point right here, I could think about the triangle that would happen. And my x is bigger than my y, so my x is going to be bigger than my y. And then 3, 2, 1, 1, 2, 3. Norris, what else did you say about that? What's negative? Why is my x negative? Good. All of my x's in all of those ordered pairs are going to be negative. I do that. I did that right here. I said it was a negative x. So all those x's need to be negative. Here's my next quadrant down here. So I'm thinking about that triangle, thinking, okay, which one's going to be bigger? I went over this much and down that much. My x is bigger than my y, so it's going to be 3 for my x and 1 for my y. 3, 2, 1. 1, 2, 3. Which ones are going to be negative here? All of them. I went left and down, so everything is negative. And then my last one, over here, I went right that much and down that much, so I went more to the right than I went down. So this one's a 3, and that one's a 1. 3, 2, 1. 1, 2, 3. Which one's negative? The y, because I went down. Lots of different stuff going on there. I know it's not a whole lot of fun. Once we figure out this quiz, and once you pass that quiz the first time, I'm going to give it to you every other time. But until you pass it, you're not getting it. Okay, so it's kind of show me once that you've memorized it, great, and then you get it from the rest of your life. Questions?